Two new messages.
I'm over here stroking my...
Yo, what's good, my robot equivalent of an eclair stuffing? What does that even mean? I've got some good news and some bad news. I know you're speechless, but that's not your fault. You took on a bit of a heckin' mission that caused you to be bedridden for the rest of your days eating out of a tube. What's that? What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you over the Oh, the good news? Oh yeah, that was the good news. The bad news is I'm dragging your ass out of bed because you're late for work. Get in the robot, you unassigned area code. Welcome to Armored Core VI, Buyers of Rubicon. That's an AC. I'm Butcherson, aka basking in the afterglow of obliterating my enemies. And this is Mech Talk, the show where we see how far we can fly on borrowed wings. Let's get into it. In the far-off future, our story takes place not in our solar system as we know it, but on the planet of Rubicon 3. Because I guess the first two Rubicons were taken by a river in a French card game. Wait, is Balacho French? On this strange planet, a life-changing resource was discovered. This coral could and would advance humanity's tech substantially. At least that was the expectation. However, when baking a coral cake, they left the oven on and didn't know how to turn it off. So it wound up covering the entire planet and the surrounding atmosphere in a fiery storm souffle, making it unapproachable for years. This taught mankind a very important lesson they would carry with them for the rest of their lives. Let's try again later. Half a century passes and Rubicon 3's forecast finally clears up and coral is back in stock. The planet is a ghost town, but there's still oil in them fields. So corporations that may or may not have been the evolution of fast food chains are in gold rush mode. You're cast in the role of an augmented human whose story begins where the story cinematic for the game ends. Oh, by the way, FromSoft, you gotta stop putting your important story stuff in videos that aren't even part of the game. I mean, you don't do it all the time. I know you like to be super vague on your lore to the point YouTubers become historians and make a killing digging for clues for years to come, but come on, man, you gotta just... You play as C4621, a mercenary who was part of a human augmentation program designed to make you...
Better, stronger, faster.
Which is the in-game lore reason why you and other pilots can withstand the G-forces of a 180-degree spin, then overboost into a roundhouse kick with your tarantula legs. So, what's a 621 doing in a Rubicon 3 like this? Well, you've got an overseer that wants you to do some undercover work in exchange for paying for your health bill from your... Anyway, that's where I'm going to cut it on the story details. If you want more of that, there's already a 6-hour deep dive into the lore of just this game alone. I'm just here for one thing. The 3 digits on the back of your credit card, because I can't afford this grenade launcher for my Toyota Corolla. Like previous titles before it, the gameplay loop is the same. You accept missions, do your merc thing, total up your earnings and losses, come back and make your robot better with what you can afford.
So what makes it different from the other Armored Core games?
It's not being scalped due to recency bias? Oh, and I guess it plays more like Sekiro with guns. Hey, name one other game that has a stagger meter which, when filled up, lets you do an obscene amount of damage. What the hell do you mean, Final Fantasy VIII? AC6 also has a lot more going for it in the mobility department, taking cues from Armored Core 4's high-speed movement with some of the PS2 era's original ideas, such as overboosting. That isn't to say they didn't apply their own spin on tradition. For instance, quad-legged mechs originally giving you more of a sliding gimmick now have a bigger emphasis on keeping you aerial. Tank treads, while still designed with heavy payloads in mind, now have unique terrain interactions that make it feel more like a driving game, even letting you... While Armored Core V's wall kicking mechanic isn't prevalent here, they do pay tribute to it by letting you wall kick off another mech's face. Sadly, there are elements from previous games that didn't make it into this title. One of the bigger problems for me is that there's no dedicated gun arms. Granted, the balance that's in AC6 is designed to give players multiple options in the field. So even if you somehow run out of ammunition, you can still go out literally kicking and punching. So in reality, weapon arms have no place in this game. But missile launcher arms with bipedal legs was such a fantastic Black Knight cosplay.
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left.
Yes, I have.
Look! It's just a flesh wound.
You yellow bastard! Come back here!
Other changes were made for a better onboarding experience for new players, such as a checkpoint system and the ability to go back to previously completed missions to earn more scratch in case you couldn't afford new parts. Which rarely is an issue since mission fail states merely ask if you'd like to try again, with almost no impact to your end of mission paycheck. There were a few people that complained that this is one of the easier titles because of this system, but guys, let's be honest, if you wound up failing a mission or incurring debt, how many times did you just reset the console and load up your save from before you started? Guys, cover your ears. I'm about to boomer you. Back in the PS1 era, autosaving was still a work in progress, so you needed to manually save your game onto a fancy schmancy storage device, so you didn't have to leave your console on all night, like I did with Digimon World 2. One notable drawback to this system is if you made a lot of progress without thinking, I better bookmark this, and then you get sidewinded by a thornberry and die. Congratulations, you get to revisit all that content you just played through. But in the PS1, PS2 era of Armored Core, the system could be abused to let you scout out missions to see what the stakes are. Or you could just keep slamming your head against the wall trying to beat that one BS arena without worrying about the game saving all that financial loss, unless you chose to. As long as you didn't mind going into the system menu and loading the game over and 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 over. This process is fine, but after a while it can be a bit tedious when you're trying to min-max the best possible result from a mission. While the system in place for Armored Core VI does seem easier and catered more to the casual gaming experience, from another point of view it just streamlines the process of loading a previous save file every time. Okay, that ends my hyperfixation talk. Let's get back to the title of the series and talk about the mechs. The designs themselves are actually really varied and impressive. Each brand developing these parts makes themselves known not just in the overall design, but in the background information for each part. Hell, even the junker parts have their own flavor that's highlighted by the small lore bit. I'm sorry, does this say this part was developed by a guy who got high on Mountain Dew Code Red? While some parts are original with a few inspirations from other games, there are other designs that are straight up catered to the old school crowd, which is... But honestly, the only critiques I have of this game are, I wish it had more. What's on display here is an absolute masterclass in modern gaming mech design that actually sets a precedent on what a real mech game can be. Everything that made previous Armored Core games what they are is on full display here with so much more. Like, coloring the mechs is still a thing, but now you can color individual parts of your mech, little details and shading effects. Create your own decals that can apply to any part of your robot. You can even name it. Yes, I see you in the back. You can name your mech. So help me, if I see another loader 4 in my lobby, I am throwing it. Oh yeah, the game also has a PvP aspect that released a little bit after the game launched. It's been some time since it dropped, however, and the scene has some well-established veterans that are sitting pretty comfy at the top. Motherfucker! I barely even touch PvP myself. It's the one thing about FromSoft games I cannot do. However, unlike their Souls-like games, you don't really need to have PvP enabled to enjoy what AC6 has to offer. It's just there in case you do get a craving to show off your double Zimmerman, double Songbird build and want to get humbled pretty quickly. But if you're looking for more casual time without having to worry about rankings, I do host an open lobby once every month and stream it on a purple site that rhymes with bit. I mean, the only way to get better is to punch above your weight class.
That's why I hit my mom, because she's fat.
I take that you were so quick with that. So are the mechs in this game cool? I mean, yeah. The designs are lovingly crafted and built in a way where you can mix and match and have a fun original the character that you'll use through 90% of your playthrough, only to switch to your literal tank build whenever you just encounter some bullshit. If you're looking for a good mech game that'll put your skills to the test, then at the moment, Armored Core VI Fires of Rubicon is the most top-tier title, even more than a year after it's released. Just don't get filtered by the helicopter boss, and you'll be fine. The rest of the... Do I hear a mobility scooter strapped with half of the world's military budget?
Why are all my limbs slack? Why can't I move my eyes? Oh, why can't I move my mouth? Is this an internal dialogue? I can't see the end of the horizon. Hatsune Miku!